I don't blame them, right? And so for like birthdays and that, like I guess they'd remember. I don't remember. So it's just the opposite. Like I'm so into my birthday. I tell like strangers at Ralph's, it's my birthday today. They don't see the thing.
So Dorothy, you'll be happy to know you're live here on YouTube all over the universe. So
Now
everyone knows your story
birthday.
now. You've gotten the attention you craved.
Hi,
Hope
how
you're
are
happy.
you?
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Hi, how are you? Okay.
Dean, yeah, she's coming on Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, YouTubers, we're starting in a moment. We've got our lights on. Maybe. There we go. See, I gotta be the camera operator.
You need an
The
assistant,
gaffer.
Dean.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'd help, but I don't know how to do any of that stuff.
Well, come on over, I'll train you.
Well, he has a great assistant, she's just busy today.
Yeah.
Oh, you're,
Yeah, he has a most wonderful
Who's-
assistant.
Yeah.
His wife.
did she come here? No. You mean like an,
My
you're
wife.
working?
My
Oh,
wife.
your
You-
wife?
you
Oh,
met
that's
her.
right. Yeah.
You met her. Okay,
Your sister.
you're abdicating. Hello. Hello, YouTubers throughout the known universe. Universe known and unknown. Okay, cell phones off, please. Can I do that to mine? Put mine in? No one calls me. Don't anyone out there call me. This light is. Let's put it on me, just for fun. Okay. How about a bell? Okay. Where's my prop man? Where's my light man? Where's my makeup person? Come on. What's happening? How's everyone?
Good.
Yeah, good. Everything's good. The state of our union is strong. The state of our union is strong. Hi. How you doing?
Good.
Good. You're just in time.
Perfect.
It's Tommy. It's Tommy, everyone.
Yay.
Tommy, watch. Wait. Freeze. Freeze. No. You're.
Do you want to sit?
No. That's where the camera is, and you're the tallest guy in the room. So you sit somewhere. Thanks a lot. Okay. Good. So all is well. Okay, here's your quiz. It's got one question. What is the Sanskrit word for union?
Yoga?
Yoga. Thank you. We have a winner. Right.
Ashley.
Right. The real meaning of yoga does not mean twisting yourself into a pretzel. And by the way, if there was no such thing as pretzels, what would we compare yoga poses to? Right? Like if there was no such animal as lemmings, what would we compare people rushing, headlong into bad situations to? Which, by the way, lemmings don't really do. That whole thing was made up by Walt Disney in a true nature film, a fake nature film, early fake news. What am I talking about? Yoga. Okay. Okay. Yes. So, right. Yoga means union. Okay. And as my old teacher Maharishi used to say, it doesn't just mean the union of the head with the knee. What it really means is the union of the individual attention, right? What we think of as our separate self, our individual identity, with our true identity, our true ultimate status, which is boundless awareness, boundless beingness. When those two things are brought together, our attention is going, oh, lights, oh, ice cream, oh, carpet, oh, I don't know, employee of the month, oh, flat tire. Our attention is going to all these things. But when our attention goes to that thing which is not a thing, which is beyond things, which is the place, for lack of a better word, where it's all good, then that's union, that's yoga. That's yoga. And that's essentially one way to talk about it. What we're doing in meditation is we're touching down to that state of yoga. We're bringing our attention to that place, with greater or lesser degree of clarity each time. You do that long enough, after a while, you are established in yoga. Yoga sta, as it says in the Bhagavad Gita. Yoga sta, established in union. And then you can say, the state of our union is strong. Okay? That's the true, that's the real deal. So good. Thanks for coming through the Angelinos braving the frigid 55-degree temperatures. I hope you all in Chicago and New York are hearing this. Give it up to these brave souls. Yeah, so hi to y'all. Okay, what news before we start? We'll be doing this again 2 weeks from tonight. This Sunday we have our day-long retreat here. I know a number of you are coming. If you are coming, you should have received an email from me, I think last night, with some important orientation information and some homework.
I've been doing it.
You've been doing your homework. You're a good
I'm
girl.
failing miserably.
Okay. We'll talk
I'm
about
working
that.
on it,
Yeah. Don't work on it.
Yeah.
Just do
Okay.
it.
Just do it. Okay.
Notice I put the word homework in quotation
Yes, I
marks.
did.
It should be called home play.
Home play. Okay.
Home play. We just play with that. Play with that. Play with that. The first of the questions. Am I aware? That's simple. There's no working. It's just as Yoda said. Do not try. Do. Just, am I aware? That's it. You're done. How much work is that? It doesn't mean feeling a certain way. It doesn't mean pushing anything else away. It just means, okay, now this is going on, and in the middle of that, oh, am I aware? And then whatever comes. Yes, no, we'll talk about that. Just in the middle of everything. As my father used to say, in mittendrinnen. That's Yiddish. Yiddish. That's when we'd get the whole table set, dinner cooked, we'd all sit down, we'd get all the siblings at the table, we'd sit down, and the phone would ring. And my father would go, mittendrin. So in mittendrin, in the middle of everything, you just gently inject them. Am I aware? I think that's my new favorite mantra as of just right now. Like what's going on right now in your awareness, in your experience. Let's use a simple word. But what's being experienced right now? You don't have to think about it. You don't have to, if people are looking down, let me see, what am I aware? No, it's just whatever you're seeing or hearing. And what if we just meet this with a simple, So whatever it is, I'm feeling kind of warm in here, or cool in here, or fine. I'm seeing these other people. Wait, what? Wait, what was that one's name? Oh, I'm not sure if I saw that one. Feeling kind of happy to be here, or God, why am I here again? Is it really worth making the trip? So those are thoughts. So, okay, that thought is present. So what if we just meet that thought with And if the thought is happy to be here, or the thought is, I'm not so sure I'm happy to be here. What if we meet the thoughts with the same, Okay, there's that thought. I'm feeling relaxed. I'm feeling tense. Okay, there that is. Just say, This sounds like a bunch of bullshit to me. Oh yeah, sounds brilliant. Okay. Let's close our eyes. Sitting comfortably. Everyone in the room here has done this before. Maybe we have a few new friends joining us on YouTube. So just be sitting comfortably, and at any point, if you need to change your position, change your position. Be comfortable. You need to blow your nose, scratch your elbow. Just do that. Be comfortable. Be natural. So, what changes when you close our eyes? And whatever it is, whatever's being experienced now, just meet it with a You can do that out loud. I invite you to do that out loud. Yes, okay. Here's a slightly different way we can use that mantra, the same spirit, but what if we go, Let's take a deep breath. Something kind of nice about that. Let's do it again. One more. So thoughts naturally come and go. Sounds come and go, sounds of passing traffic on the street. Whatever feelings might be there. Whatever's there. Just rest aware. So it is. It is how it is. Okay. You can just leave it as it is. Just rest in this natural awareness of things as they are. No agenda. For once, no agenda. Most of the time, whatever's going on, we have an agenda. Whether you're rolling over and fluffing your pillow again because, oh, gee, I got to get a good night's sleep. That's an agenda. That's an outcome we're looking for. Or I got to pass this car so I can get to work a little faster. It's an agenda. It's an outcome. Fine. Nothing wrong with it, but it gets a little tiring. So for once, we have no agenda. We let go of all outcomes. We certainly don't want to introduce any new agendas like, oh, I have to have a good meditation, whatever that means. Thoughts about good meditations and bad meditations, you know what those are? They're thoughts. We just shrug it off like every other thought. The power of the shrug means we don't have to get rid of anything. So we don't buy into anything. No investment, no agenda, no nothing. Just leaving things as they are. When we let go of agendas and outcomes, when we meet everything with a gentle shrug, then we can rest naturally in openness, emptiness, the natural emptiness of being just aware. Resting in awareness itself, which is just like the empty space of the room, with room for all the chairs and the people. And whether we triple the number of chairs and people or get rid of them all, it's all the same to the space. The space says, space doesn't say anything, but if it did, it would just say, okay. So nothing to do but to rest in this natural openness, this blessed simplicity. And of course, one reason that we can afford to just say, to just gently, sweetly shrug at whatever comes along, is that none of it can affect awareness. Just as even bringing the most beautiful chair into the room doesn't enhance the space, the open space, and bringing in the most ugly chair doesn't damage space. Space is just space. Awareness is just awareness. Perfectly open, empty, spacious, luminous, clear, friction-free, everything free, free. So whatever comes along, we can shrug, we can say, and rest in this freedom, this free space. Free parking. Not try to concentrate on anything or focus or feel anything special. Those are all agendas. So, hallelujah, whenever we feel, gee, should I be more focused or feeling more blissful or whatever, we just shrug. Oh, that was just a thought. And all those thoughts, whether they're about meditation agendas or shopping lists or the meaning of life, they're all equally just stuff rising and falling within this free, open space of awareness. So we can always rest right here. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. Anytime you feel you've gotten caught up in something, you're struggling with something or resisting it or hanging on to it, just relax your grip. Don't try to figure it out or get rid of it. Just relax your grip on it. Just whatever it is, just say to it. Just shrug and relax your grip and relax again into yourself, into this open, free, frictionless, qualityless, spacious awareness, which is really what you are. Which is always right here. Which you can always just relax back into. Doesn't matter what else is there along with it. Just one more thing floating through the open space and not affecting it. Now keep the eyes closed and start gently bringing the body back to a more active state. Just taking your time. A very lazy, easygoing way, like waking up in bed in the morning. It's kind of the first agenda of the day. Oh, gotta get up. So let's approach that very gently. Might feel like stretching, shifting around a little. Gently rubbing your hands or your face, your scalp. Just easing out of the natural hypometabolic settled state back to the more usual active waking level. That's just the body. Not necessarily the mind or the awareness. Is there anything that needs to change there? You know, sometimes there's a feeling of, oh, I'm coming out of meditation. I'm leaving the lovely silence behind. But is that necessarily the case? Just kind of notice what's what. And when you feel ready, you can gently open the eyes, but take your time. Okay, how we doing? Good? Good? Good. 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 Any questions or observations, field notes? You notice the more you do this, the simpler it all becomes. Not only the stuff when you're sitting with your eyes closed, the so-called meditation. It's like, oh, there's nothing to it. But also, you know, the stuff that happens when your eyes are open. You know, life can seem, or used to seem, maybe so complicated. Oh, what am I going to do about this? And there's that, and this part of my life, and this aspect of myself, and you know, it just seems so complicated. And have you noticed that more and more? It's just, you get up in the morning, you do some stuff. You do the stuff you have to do. You know, it gets clearer and clearer how to do this, how to take care of your business, and how to, if I go this way, then I avoid the trouble and the pain for myself and for others. And here's a chance to, like, you know, be nice to some other people. And, you know, so you get up in the morning, you do the stuff you have to do. If there's a chance, you do the stuff you like to do. More and more of the stuff that you have to do and the stuff you like to do is, you kind of, notice that more and more you just kind of like to do everything.
Not everything.
Not everything. No, yeah, but in that direction, you know. I remember one of my first kind of dramatic experiences of that. I was with a friend of mine, my dear friend Dan, who's currently living in the south of France. And we were in somewhere, Southern California. We were headed for, I don't know, something. We were like a wedding or something. And whoever's car we were in, we broke down on the side of the freeway, and we were missing the party or the wedding or the play or whatever the heck it was, whatever was on the agenda. And instead we were there on the side of the road for quite some time and calling the tow truck. And at some point, I just kind of looked around and went, well, this is cool. You know? And it's like, oh, this is about as much fun as being at the whatever we're supposed to be at. You know, it's all good, as they say. And it's not just an attitude. I mean, having that attitude is kind of, it takes a lot of the bumps out of life, right? But more and more, it's not even an attitude to have. It's just the way you experience things. And not that there's something weird or there's nothing added. It's not like some extra special whipped topping has been put on top of your regular experiences. It's something's been taken away, which is all your judgments about it. Oh, this is satisfactory. If I get to the party, that's satisfactory. That's good. I've checked that box. And if I'm standing on the side of the road, that's somehow not good. I can't have a good time standing on the side of the road. Those are thoughts. And more, and partly because you're spending some time, you're spending some whatever, your 10, 15, 20 minutes a day sitting with your eyes closed and recognizing, oh, that's a thought. Just you shrug. And some thoughts are judging things this way, some are judging it, and we meet them all with the same shrug. And by doing that, just we very gently, very naturally are moving out of the habit that we were formerly stuck in of buying into all those thoughts. You know, they're still there when we need them. Sometimes we have to use them, sometimes we have to act on them, but just because it's a thought, just because it's there, you know, doesn't mean you have to buy. It's just like, you know, you don't have to buy every appliance that's in the, okay, well, there's a toaster and there's a toaster and so I got to buy them. Well, no, it's just another thought. Is that making sense? Is that resonating for you at all?
Not holding on too tight is a really,
Yeah, not holding on too tight
to anything.
to anything. When I was an English teacher, an exercise I used to do with my students, and you know, this was a fancy prep school in New Jersey, and everyone was getting ready to, you know, apply to, you know, fancy colleges, and one of the things they were very concerned about was their writing skills and learning how to write a, you know, really effective, tight academic essay, and I was really good at teaching that. I was a real crackerjack writing teacher, but the kids could get so caught up in the tightness of that and all the rules and, you know, and so forth, that I would also do things to kind of kick some of that loose. So every once in a while we do an exercise where I try to do this at least once a year with my kids. Okay, take out a piece of paper, take your pen or your pencil. These days they probably don't even have pens and pencils. And I'd say, okay, take your pen and see how lightly you can hold it without it falling out of your hand. Just relax your grip until it falls out of your hand. And then put it back and relax your grip till it falls out of your hand. And so you find out where that place is and go to the place just before it falls out of your hand. Okay, now put the pen on the paper and just start making little, curlicues and see how lightly you can touch the pen to the paper. At what point does it stop making a mark? Try that a few times and then do the place where it's just barely making a mark. So everything is as feather light as possible. And then we're just doing that. We're doing curlicues. Barely holding the pen, barely laying ink on the page. And let your hand move without stopping. Don't stop except when you get to the end of a line. All right. And then I tell them, okay, now I'm going to give you a writing cue. I'm going to say something, and then you just start writing whatever comes in your mind. And I'm not going to collect it. You can tear it up as soon as we get to the end of this. So don't be inhibited. And then I would say, give them a cue. I'd say something like, I felt embarrassed when, something like that. Something that would really, kick up people's personal stuff. Something real, not some made up academic BS. And I say, okay, and just keep writing, whatever comes to mind. Let your hand, don't take your hand off the paper except for the space between words. Just keep going. And if you're not sure what to do next, just go back to, I was embarrassed when. Okay, keep going, keep going, keep going. And just to have that sense of lightness, of holding on as lightly as possible. And in this case, holding on also to, as far as, what are we accomplishing? What's our agenda in terms of what we're expressing? All the usual agendas of, I got to have this kind of structure in the introductory, lay out my premise at the end of the first paragraph, and then back it up with my supporting arguments. That has its importance, but you have to kick loose from some of that stuff. So in a way, this is what meditation's like. We're kicking loose from all that. And then we find out how loosely we can hold on to stuff during the other 23 and a half hours of the day. And it turns out to be a lot looser than we thought, generally speaking. Doesn't mean getting lazy and flaky. Actually, it's just the opposite. It means becoming efficient. Because all the energy that's expended in holding on to something tighter than you need to, or pushing something harder than you need to push it, that's all wasted energy. That's inefficiency. I mean, Tommy, this is something you've got to know as an athletic trainer, right? Right, in terms of efficient working of the physical machine. If you're, I know nothing about sports, so I got to make stuff up here. But if you're holding the javelin tighter than you have to hold it, or you're tightening up the XYZ muscles.
Then they fight against each other. They work against each other. And also when you see great mountaineers walking, how lightly they hold the ice axe.
Yeah.
They're going to be doing it for 20 hours. Everything becomes very economical, and there's no seizing up, or it just becomes fluid and graceful.
Yeah, fluid, graceful, economical. And that's what it makes it beautiful to watch. Watching the great athletes, that's when the Olympics happen, and you see whoever, whether it's the figure skaters or watching the, at the highest level World Cup play and so, that grace, because
they tighten at a moment when it's necessary, and then they're immediately back to relaxed again.
Yeah.
They don't lock up.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think a part of what makes us love to watch those things, whether it's in sports or in ballet or in film or in music, is because it reminds us of our own life when it's being lived at that level of ease and grace. We all have moments when we're living like that, and we all intuit that that's how we want to live our lives all the time. So, when you see, in the golden days of the Chicago Bulls, Michael Jordan just levitating, flying to the basket. We just, oh yeah, we respond to that. We could not respond to that unless we intuited something like that, or some potential for something like that within ourselves. That's what our life is longing to be like, and potential, and in its essence is.
But athletes like Michael Michael Jordan, also.
And Michael Jackson in his dance,
dancing,
that beautiful fluidity, same thing, yeah.
But Michael Jordan or an athlete like that, they also clearly have a notion that one outcome is better than another. And they're not. They would be derided if they move to acceptance too quickly.
Yeah.
But in sports, it's the culture of sports is for people to really, if they're not getting to that better outcome, to really show their sorrow and suffering and their angst.
Yeah.
It's part of the culture of the sport, especially a team sport.
Yeah.
Because then, if someone's a big performer and they're by themselves, but if they're a member of a team and they're not performing optimally, and then they're kind of moving to acceptance about it, there'll be trouble from the other teammates who are going like, you're not doing it everything.
Yeah, and sure. So as you say, there is an agenda. There is a preferred outcome, which is that you win the game and not lose the game. And that also makes it more interesting and more useful to us as a model, because again, in our lives for the 23 and a half hours of the day outside of meditation, we also have preferred outcomes. So it becomes this very interesting kind of a paradox, this kind of contrast of values. On the one hand, we know what we want is this just this complete letting go. And at the same time, we want certain outcomes to happen and other outcomes to not happen. How can we integrate those two things that seem to be diametrically opposed? So and that makes it interesting, because it was just, oh yeah, whatever. Well, there's a bunch of homeless people, right here in Venice on the streets, blocks from here, they've succumbed to that extreme. I mean, I know there's other complicating factors there, but let's just say the letting go, the just being lazy, the being flaky. Okay, in our own, I don't have to look to homeless people. I know what it's like to be flaky. I do that sometimes, right? And then there's the other contrasting extreme, which is just being, the stereotype of the type A person. It's got to be this, it's got to be that way. The controlling type person. Neither of those is much fun ultimately. So there's got to be the golden middle path. As the Buddha always said, finding the middle path. But the middle path often is misunderstood to be, it's some kind of lukewarm compromise. Just some kind of, you average those two things and you get something that's not very interesting. It's just kind of bland. That's not really what it is. It's really the most interesting. It's the most vivid. It's where life happens, where we find where's that razor's edge between just letting go and getting the thing done. And this is all laid out in the classic text, which if you haven't read it, someday you might want to read the Bhagavad Gita, which laid out exactly this. It laid out all the Enlightenment teachings, not to a monk sitting in a cave, but to a warrior about to go into battle.
Arjuna.
Arjuna the warrior, right? Arjuna the warrior, and and his charioteer. He happens to be very lucky that his chauffeur happens to be God, you know, in the person of Krishna, the embodiment of love. And he's about to go into this, you know, it's like the equivalent of like D-Day. And at that moment of just heightened, everything's hinging on this battle. There can't be a more important outcome. And you're the designated star warrior. So what does Krishna tell him to do? Okay, so he goes on for 18 chapters of explaining what's what, and basically first he lays out all the wisdom of how to let go. How to let go. So-called meditation. Nistraigunyo Bhavarjuna. Some complicated technical Sanskrit, which basically means just let it all go, let it all be. Just.
But his angst is he's being asked to kill his relatives and friends.
Yeah, there's there's a bunch of plot twists there. Yeah, there's always stuff that we have to do in the doing that's but
Challenges.
that what?
Challenges.
Yeah, there's always going to
Challenges,
be
that's what
challenges and this stuff. Really, I have to do that? Really, I have to?
Because Krishna
Yeah.
says, I've cast you in the role to kill your relatives and your friends in this instance, and then you have no, your best course is to acquiesce to the life I've born you into.
Yeah.
Sounds like that's really letting go.
And maybe it's a criticism of the Bhagavad Gita that I'm giving. I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean,
Yeah, you know, I don't. It's they're yeah. I'm kind of resisting. I'm kind of resisting going into that whole can of peas there because it can get so complicated. We should do that sometime. We should do a whole. You know what we should do? We should do one of our day-long retreats on the Bhagavad Gita. Would that be interesting to people? Okay, good. We'll do that. Thank you, Tommy. And then we'll go into that all that stuff. That'll be great. Oh yeah, thank you. I'm excited. And we'll good. I'll look into a recommended translation, and people will read ahead. And what fun.
I haven't read it yet.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, maybe we'll do that for our next one. So that'll be maybe our spring day-long retreat on the Bhagavad Gita. Excellent. But for now, let's just keep to the most basic principle here, which is it's okay. First, lay back, let go, just go, just go, just go, ooh, wee, right? Letting it all go. And then come out, and actually, this is the thing I said at the beginning of the session tonight. Yogasta kuru karma. Yogasta. So having let go, having sunk into ourself, having relaxed our grip on whatever comes and goes and relaxed into ourself, which is boundless beingness, boundless awareness, to some degree we become established in that. Yogasta. In yoga, established. Established in that, in union with that. Even the word union is kind of saying too much because it sounds like two disparate things that have been brought together. It's really just what we're just resting in ourselves. We're resting in what we truly are. And then we come out and yogasta, establishing yoga, kuru karmani. Karmani, you hear the word karma in there. Karma means action, means doing. It doesn't mean weird, mysterious destiny. It means action, cause and effect. Okay? So, and kuru comes from the same root. Kre, they both come from kre. So kuru karmani means act your actions, do your deeds. Do what you gotta do, as we say in New Jersey. Okay, do what you gotta do. And sometimes in some weird circumstances, doing what you gotta do might be killing your relatives because they've gotten recruited into Hitler's army. Okay, or in the Bhagavad Gita, it's Duryodhana is the Hitler character, right? And sometimes these things that are going to be these incredible challenges, there's no way to do it unless you're really established in yoga. So more and more, the doing those things that sound completely different, like having, like as you say, being the athlete, you've got to get the desired outcome, but being the yogi in the true sense of the word, the one who's established in yoga, it's all just it's all good, right? More and more as you're, because the greatest, as we said, the greatest athletes, they're in the moment that you're doing the thing, you're just doing it, right? I mean, huh? Nike,
Just do it.
yeah, you're just doing it in that yeah. At the end of the game, yeah, you're throwing it. Maybe you're throwing a tantrum because you lost, or you're doing the interviews with the with whatever because you won, and spraying the coach with the champagne or whatever. But in the moment of doing it, you can't be burdened with that. And you must know this. You must know that athletes that are thinking too much about winning and losing at the moment when they have to do it, instead of just being focused on doing it, that's a distraction.
Anything that distracts you is bad. And as an individual competitor in an individual sport where I was just by myself,
Yeah.
and as a world champion in that, but in a sport that was relatively simple
Mm-hmm.
in its execution, it was very meditative. You block everything, and you're just your total being, and it would be your defining moment.
Yeah. What were you a world champion in?
Powerlifting and strongman contests. So you'd be doing a big lift.
Right.
It's simpler than, say, pole vaulting or something.
Right.
Usually.
Yeah.
And so with that, you give it your full focus, and then for me, as I learned it, if I missed the lift,
Mm-hmm.
I would very quickly move to acceptance and let it go, because I learned it could sabotage what was coming next.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that efficiently without a problem.
Yeah.
But when I went into team professional sports, that didn't wash. If you missed a play and you moved to acceptance, the culture of team sports doesn't allow that. You have to show your other teammates, and even if you're inside, you move to acceptance, you have to show your other teammates that how deeply hurt you were by that.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe sometimes you got to fit. And
I see that
actually,
big time in the Super Bowl
yeah.
by everybody.
You know what you're saying, and this may be true in some other environments, where even if you're not on a sports team, you work in an office or something. Sometimes just to get along with everyone, you kind of fake it a little. There's stuff that happens that I find this more and more, that people expect me to be upset about, and I just don't feel that anymore. It's a thing that's happened, and if it was up to me, I wouldn't have that thing happen. But okay, that thing happened, and that that person died, for example. Well, everyone's got to die, and you're going, oh yeah, I'm so sorry, and you right, you do some stuff that is like, socially keeps the wheels of society moving, but when I was teaching at that private school, and I taught this course called, I'll get to you in a second, Sue Ellen. I taught this course called Literature of Enlightenment. It was an elective course for 11th and 12th graders, and we read a bunch of cool books about this Enlightenment stuff from various angles. We read the Zen Flesh, Zen Bones, and the Gospel of Thomas, and Plato's Symposium, and Kerouac, the Dharma Bum, Salinger, Franny, and Zooey. It was a great course, and we did a lot of meditation. And and for the final paper, I would sometimes have the kids write a paper on the yoga of something that they did, or Zen in the art of something that they did. And I'll never forget this one girl who was a goalie on the field hockey team. And she wrote a paper on the yoga of goaltending. And how she had to be completely alert and completely relaxed at the same time, and have that, kind of 360-degree vision, be focused on the task but not narrowed in her vision. And the one thing that I really remembered most, she said, and occasionally when it gets past you, when you get scored on, and there is that moment of being upset, and then you have to immediately come back. You can't allow yourself to be caught up in the fuming over that, because then they're going to score on you again. That you have to just come back to just that vision, that openness, back to the task rather than the outcome. 2 seconds ago, you got to be in this moment of just do it. But all this stuff, it sounds familiar, because more and more it just, without anyone telling you, you start seeing, and it's helpful to have these conversations. It helps point out these changes that are happening in our lives anyway, I think. And then there's something about articulating the changes that are happening anyway that kind of brings a clarity to it and kind of helps move it along a little bit and helps you realize, oh yeah, that's happening, helps you enjoy it and appreciate it and value it, and also to know that you're not crazy. Sometimes you can feel, gee, I used to worry so much. Am I getting blasé? Am I getting apathetic? No, you're becoming like an efficient goalie. Some of them get past you, and then we're into the next moment. And as as you get more and more yoga-sta, as you get more and more established in the boundlessness of awareness, you're, as it were, your peripheral vision gets better. You see everything going on more 360 degrees, and you're looking at this thing over here, but okay, there's this thing over here I can take care of. Less stuff, and it's easier to, stuff that used to have to go whap, swat that problem away, whap, whap, whap. More and more it's just bing, bing, bing. Yeah, so Ellen.
I just had a thought about when you and Tom were talking about in athletics as well as in social situations, sometimes you have to fake it. I was thinking that it's not necessarily always that you're faking it. Sometimes you can feel that the other person's feeling something and feel bad that they're feeling that, but you don't have to feel what they feel.
Yes. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. This is
Maybe I was stating the obvious.
this is compassion. This is compassion. And there's nothing fake about that.
Yeah.
People tend to be overwhelmed by the stuff that's happening. We can we can feel connected to their suffering without our being overwhelmed by it. And that way, we can be most valuable to them. I mean, just think of a mother with her child, right? Or a father with his child. The child, the kid comes up, mommy, little Jimmy in the sandbox, call me. I actually just, a week or two ago, we were up north and where my grandson and his parents live. And I volunteered for a couple of days at his preschool. He's 3 years old. So I was being the designated adult, literally in the sandbox.
Sounds fun.
And it was really interesting, to see all the little dramas that these 3 and 4 year olds were going through, and the conflicts, because they're all playing these wonderful imaginative games, and this one's got this big barrel, and she's decided that this is her house, and she's filling it with sand because that's the basement or something. And there's this other little boy who's decided, no, that's the chimney, so he's got to take the sand out. And now they've got these conflicting games going on, And I'm sitting there going, oh my God, do I have to adjudicate this thing? How do I do that? And then, you know, once in a while the teacher would come along and I'd watch how she did it. And I was so in awe of the way she did it and how little she did. You know, how much it was, okay, kids, how are you going to work this out? And it was beautiful. It made me realize, oh, it's really important for them to be in this situation and to have these little conflicts. Because then they're going to figure out how to, they're going to get it, start seeing how to work it out. So it's important for me to, you know, as the designated so-called grown-up there, to, you know, if the kid's upset, oh yeah, I can't just, you know, but I you know, empathize with them. Oh no, their house has been knocked over by the other kid, but I can't be, it's not useful for me to be caught up in, you know, as overwhelmed by the destruction of her house as she is. Now, by extrapolation, when my house gets knocked down by the tsunami, right? When I get whatever, cancer, whatever it is, that seems so real to me, and I'm as upset about that as the kid is upset about their bucket of sand. Right? The designated grown-ups are some of these people whose pictures are behind me here. Right? The designated grown-ups are Sri Ramana and Shankara and the Dalai Lama and so forth. And they see our suffering and they go, oh, come on, you poor child. But they're not overwhelmed by it. They also see the, I don't want to say unreality of it because that gets people upset. They see the non-ultimacy of it. Is that a helpful word? Right? It seemed when it's, oh, my body is diseased, my house is knocked down, that my relationship is blown up. That seems like ultimate, right? That when you're overwhelmed, it's like it's an ultimate problem. For the Buddhas, for the awakened ones, it is what it is. It's another thing. It's not ultimate. And it doesn't overwhelm the boundlessness of awareness. Because they're yoga-sta, they're established in yoga. And they're, every moment, they're, as you know, little lighthouses reminding us, just keep your eye on the prize here. Keep your eyes on the prize. We're on our way to becoming more and more yoga-sta ourselves. Because all that stuff's going to happen to us. So it's good to be tuned into the non-ultimacy. Right? That works, right? Non-ultimacy of it. Is that making sense?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Good. What else?
So it sounds like meditation isn't a team sport.
Is meditation a team sport, says Michael. Kinda.
I was sort of saying the opposite. It sounds like it's not a team sport.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, and I'm saying it kind of is. I mean, there's the ways in which meditation is not a team sport are obvious. You close your eyes, you're inside yourself, and it doesn't matter, right? And that's one of the wonderful things about it. On the other hand, here we are. Here we are together. Somehow we keep getting together on Tuesday nights. To some degree, there's some shifting of the team roster, and there's our dear friends out in YouTube land, and this is what the Buddha called the Sangha, the group, and he emphasized that. In Buddhist tradition, I think we've talked about this before. There's three things: Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. Buddha means awakening. On another level, it means, Buddha is any person who is awakened. And specifically, it can be that particular guy 2,500 years ago who was awakened, and, Gautama Shakyamuni, who talked about these things and articulated them in a particularly clear way. So, but he was very clear. He's not there for people to worship or to, make into a messiah or anything. He's just there as a role model. Again, here, I'm Yoga Stott. Y'all can do this. So Buddha, the second thing, the Dharma, sometimes translated as the teaching, all the techniques, all the methods, all the insights, whether they're in books or they're in these conversations, they're in our practice, everything that helps us unfold our Buddhahood. But then there's the third ingredient, Sangha, the group, the congregation, the fellowship of saints, as they say in some churches. There is something about being on the buddy system. Some people can do this kind of all by themselves, but they're very few and far between. There's something about, to some degree, just even meditating in the room together, you can feel if there's kind of a group, it kind of adds to the gravity as we sink into meditation. There's kind of a synchron, a group kind of resonance or something. And then just, sharing our understanding and sharing our experiences and sharing oh yeah, this is happening for you too. Maybe we're not crazy after all. Seeing it in other people's eyes, seeing it in other people's lives. And it's such a pleasure for me to, some of you all have been coming into this room for a few years now, and just to see the clarity and the simplicity, to see how it grows, the ease, as you were saying, the ease, the grace, and to see that in people's lives. And go back some of the, as I travel and teach workshops here and there, some places I've been going back to every year or nearly every year for 10 years or more. I go back to play Austin or Omaha or, New Jersey, where I've been teaching since the 70s, and some people I'm still seeing that I was seeing in the 70s, and it's just such a joy to see that. Okay. So, right. So if you're signed up for the Sunday retreat, please make sure you read the email I sent last night. Yes. Finally, the Omega Institute, Rhinebeck, New York, next to Woodstock. They finally got my coming 5-day retreat up there on their website. That is June 2nd through 7th. For you all here in this room, that's 3,000 miles away, but I think it's worth going there. I'm going to go there. And some of y'all, especially on the East Coast, might start marking your calendar. So that's open for registration now. And have any of you ever been to Omega? You've been to Omega Institute? Tell us about Omega Institute, Liliana.
It's a beautiful place. There's little cabins in the woods, and I guess everybody that has searched for something and actually have something to say has gone through that place.
Yeah.
It was a great experience.
Yeah, it is a great place. It's beautiful, and there's the lake there.
And you get to share and to meet other people.
Yeah.
Even that are not doing the same workshop.
Yeah, you get to
all eat together. There's a nice cafeteria, good food.
Yeah.
It's a nice place. If you're looking for a place to spend a week, that's a nice place. And
Yeah.
it's not a retreat center. It's not in silence like.
Right, it's not silence.
It's more to connect with other people.
Yeah. But I guess I call it a retreat because you are being taken out of your usual
Yeah, but
day
not
to
a
day.
silent retreat, like,
Yeah.
You can't connect
Right.
to people in the same
Right.
way. In a silent
And you do get to sample some of the other workshops and seminars that are going on at the same time, and there's yoga classes I think you can do every day, and movement classes and so forth.
Classes, dance classes that are really good,
Yeah, yeah,
all kinds of things, drawing classes,
yeah. No, it's fantastic.
a lot, it's really good.
Yeah, so June 2nd through 7th, I would love it if some of you made it to there. So think about that. And if you go to the Omega website or go to my website, and there's a link to that, and you can find out more about it. Okay, anything else? I do have something coming up, a Sunday event coming up at the Center for Spiritual Living in Newport, Costa Mesa. That got moved. It's now March something. It's on the website. So may all beings swiftly realize their own boundless, problem-free nature. May they all realize how all phenomena move frictionlessly through the boundless awareness that they are. And thus realize the true happiness, the unshakable happiness. And thus may all conflict spontaneously evaporate and peace prevail everywhere. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.